striking the right balance.
We want nurses to have a better experience on the front lines. We know that patients deserve better quality care and better outcomes.
Manitoba mandates nurse-to-patient ratios, what the move means for the healthcare system and how soon it could be implemented. Also tonight, keeping an eye on the law.
This is the best way to ensure that the facts come out.
How soon Winnipeg police officers will don body-worn cameras and how they will be used. And later, which Winnipeg neighborhood could be the future home to a regional park.
CTV News. Live from downtown Winnipeg with Taylor Brock.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Daniel Halmerson. The Manitoba government has passed new legislation that mandates nurse-to-patient ratios in healthcare settings. It's intended to strengthen staffing across the province and improve patient safety. CTV's Harrison Shin reports.
Manitoba will have a nurse-to-patient ratio required by law.
The implementation committee is going to look at these recommendations, and then it has to do the work of understanding what are the differences geographically, right? Again, the needs of Winnipeg are different than the needs in the north or in Prairie Mountain Health.
The Manitoba Nurse-Patient Ratio Subcommittee heard from more than 4,800 nurses and have released 9 recommendations developed with employers and the government.
We want nurses to have a better experience on the front lines. We know that patients deserve better quality care and better outcomes. And nurse-to-patient ratios is a big part of how we make that happen.
Recommendations include minimum ratios across acute and non-acute areas, minimum baseline staff, and developing rural and northern specific strategies. The initial ratio suggestions are 1 nurse for 1 to 2 patients in intensive care and 1 nurse per 4 patients minimum for emergency departments.
It's something that we've been advocating for a very long time, to have nurse-patient ratios.
The Manitoba Nurses Union President Darlene Jackson says call for nurse-to-patient ratios came from their last round of collective bargaining, and while Jackson wants to get the ball rolling as soon as possible, she says implementation should start slowly, considering the province is short on nurses.
We believe that bringing nurse-patient ratios in, starting with nurse-patient ratios, we're going to bring nurses back into the system. We're going to bring part-time nurses.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Winnipeg.
In a statement, PC Health critic Kathleen Cook says in part the ratio is a laudable goal, but will require concrete action to implement across all areas of the province. Cook adds it will need a staffing plan with a strong focus on retention. We're learning more tonight about how many officers were involved in last week's hostage taking in St. James and the impact it had on other people who called police.
It was an active shooter. We had to assign a lot of police officers, a lot of cruiser cars there. So they're at the scene for a long period of time.
That's Deputy Chief of Support Services Art Stannard, who says 77 units were involved in last Friday's incident. He says each unit is comprised of 1 or 2 officers, and because of the immense strain on resources, he says calls in the queue spiked by 78% on Friday and reached a peak of 337 waiting by Sunday.
In this case, we had to call out quite a number of resources over the weekend to address and to get the queue down to a manageable number, not get down to 0, but just get down to a number that we can tolerate.
Stannard says the force received funding for 36 officers to staff 2 more cruisers last year, but he adds at least 36 more are needed to help keep up with the growing city. And speaking of police, 40 officers will start wearing body cameras next week. The new technology is part of a pilot project with the goal of equipping all frontline officers with the cameras. As CTV's Jeff Keel shows you now, Winnipeg police say this will improve accountability and safety.
Starting Wednesday, Winnipeg police officers will be wearing cameras to capture video when responding to a call.
It keeps them accountable, and then it gives you another side of the story.
For the sake of keeping everybody transparent, then absolutely.
Over the next 6 months, 40 frontline officers are being equipped with the cameras as part of a pilot project with the aim of outfitting up to 700 frontline officers in 2027. The cameras will be turned on when officers are responding to calls, doing enforcement, during investigations, and when an officer initiates an interaction with an individual. Police say this will hold everyone involved accountable.
We owe it to the membership, we owe it to the police service, and more importantly to the citizens of Winnipeg to show what is happening, how our officers are responding.
The WPS believes this will also improve safety People may act differently if they know cameras are rolling, and police say the cameras will help prosecutors in court.
This is the best way to ensure that the facts come out.
But some members of the public may have privacy concerns being recorded by police.
I think it's important to be more clear to the public on what happens with the data.
Police say the video footage collected will be secured and the data is owned by the police and no one else has access, adding Canada and Manitoba have strict privacy rules compared to the U.S.
It's protected, it's retained as controlled by City of Winnipeg retention bylaws and only disclosed through appropriate means.
Police will be looking for feedback on the pilot program through public forums and a survey. Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Winnipeg is not alone. The Brandon Police Force started equipping its officers with body cameras this week, with a plan to phase in 65 of them. An event hoping to dispel disinformation about the measles vaccine is being deemed a success by Manitoba's health minister. Uzoma Asaguero says more than 6,300 folks joined the telephone town hall Wednesday night. People asked Manitoba health officials questions such as how effective the vaccine is, side effects, and what age to get the vaccine. Manitoba's health minister says they've noticed people are becoming more open to conversations about vaccines.
You could hear that people started to feel more and more comfortable with it, which is exactly what we want. We want for people to not feel any shame or embarrassment. We want them to know that asking questions about healthcare and about science is important, it's welcome, and that here in Manitoba you're going to get your questions answered.
The minister says the province is also sharing information through billboards, social media posts, and community visits from public health nurses. Police are asking for your help tracking down two men who robbed a jewelry store in River Heights in April. Here's what they look like. Police say the pair went into the store in the 1700 block of Corden Avenue shortly after noon on April 29th, armed with a handgun and a hammer. They smashed a display case and made off with a significant amount of jewelry. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Major Crimes Unit or Crime Stoppers. Today marked the second annual Pride celebration at the Manitoba Legislative Building, and it went off with flying colors. The celebration honors two LGBTQI+ individuals in the province and their impact on our communities. This year's event is also extra special. It's the first to take place following the passage of Bill 234, which officially designates June as Pride Month. And to mark it, the steps of the legislature are getting a makeover.
For the first time ever, on the grounds of the legislature leading up to the stairs that walk you into this building, bring you into this building, we're going to have a pride crossing here on the grounds of the Manitoba legislature right outside the building.
Asaguero says the steps serve as a reminder that all are welcome in Manitoba. And speaking of pride, you're going to want to find a different route if you need to commute through the downtown Sunday morning. Here's a look at the parade route. It all gets started with a rally in front of the Legislative Building at 10 a.m. The parade itself kicks off from Memorial Park at 11. It will head east on Portage Avenue before turning right on Main Street, briefly before turning onto William Stevenson Way and coming to an end next to Shaw Park. If you're unable to make it there in person, we're once again streaming the parade live. Just head over to CTV News Winnipeg.ca. Winnipeg could be getting a new regional park. A motion before the Property and Development Committee recommends the Public Service look into the cost to acquire 40 hectares of land in Precinct D. That includes an area west of McPhillips to Pipeline Road and heading north to the perimeter from Story Road. The motion says the Winnipeg Park Strategy calls for a new regional park to be built for every 100,000 people, but there hasn't been a new one since the 1960s. The committee will look at the motion on June 11th. If you use the Harry Lazarenko Bridge, you're going to need to find another route this weekend. The city is closing down the former Redwood Bridge for the entire weekend. Officials say it's necessary so crews can conduct routine maintenance and inspections. The city says it will close off access at 6 Saturday morning and will reopen it at 8 p.m. Sunday. Pedestrians will still be able to access the bridge throughout the weekend. Here's our first look at tonight's weather. About 15 degrees under clear skies here in Winnipeg. The wind out of the east at 12 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 79%. Cooling off just a couple degrees tonight, down to about 13 with clear skies. The wind shifting a little bit to the northwest at 15. And tomorrow morning, waking up to around 18. Mainly sunny, wind out of the south at 15. But it's going to get hot, hot, hot for the weekend. I'll have your complete Skywatch forecast coming up.
I think the consensus, both among ethicists and psychologists, is that this is a cruel and unusual punishment.
Coming up, reaction to a multi-million-dollar settlement over solitary confinement in Manitoba jails. Improvements are being made to several recreational trails around the province.
Trails are critical infrastructure requiring prioritized funding.
The 2026 Trails Manitoba grant program is putting forward more than $200,000 in 19 trail projects in Winnipeg, Beausejour, Steep Rock, and elsewhere. That's on top of $6 million over the last 5 years to create 600 kilometers of new trail, 400 kilometers of upgrade, and maintained 2,800 kilometers. The province is also opening 2 new backcountry campsites on the Black Wolf Trail in Hecla Grindstone Provincial Park.
These campsites are going to turn a beautiful trail into another multi-day hiking opportunity.
The campsites are first come, first serve. Manitobans are encouraged to hit a trail tomorrow as part of the 4th annual Manitoba Trails Day. Cruel, inhumane, and degrading. That's how a class action lawsuit describes solitary confinement in Manitoba jails. On Thursday, a Manitoba judge approved a settlement totaling $129 million to compensate both youth and adult inmates who experienced such conditions. CTV's Joseph Bernacki has more.
Thursday was a day of relief and reckoning for inmates held in solitary confinement. Court heard from a now 22-year-old who says he was just 14 when he was held for more than 2 weeks in a 10-by-10 cell at the former Agassiz Youth Center in Portage-la Prairie. He described camera monitoring 24/7 and fluorescent lights mostly kept on. He says, at the end of the day, this was a horribly traumatic event, something that lives with me to this day. The man cannot be identified because he was a youth at the time. He told court, "I'm sure in that moment I probably didn't want to be alive because of just how miserable, how terrible of a time it was there." Now the province will pay $129 million to potentially thousands of class members, which include youth placed after September 12, 2006, and adults after September 12, 2012, who suffered from a serious mental illness or held for more than 15 days, for what the suit calls lasting emotional, physical, and psychological harm. In a statement to CTV News, a spokesperson for Justice Minister Matt Wiebe says the Manitoba government acknowledges the settlement accepted by the Manitoba courts today. Further comments will be reserved pending the release of the written decision. Critics following the case say Manitoba's law on solitary confinement, where it is allowed indefinitely for preventative cases, is not in line with international law. Neil MacArthur is an ethics professor from the University of Manitoba.
Something that was passed by the General Assembly of the United Nations, saying that anything longer than 15 days in solitary confinement constitutes cruel and unusual punishment.
MacArthur says the impact of solitary confinement for youth poses even greater risk.
Jurisdictions around the world have stopped doing this or are stopping right now. So Manitoba needs to be in line with what international law and what the best research says. I mean, there's just no other way to put it.
The Ontario law firm representing the class action suit sent a statement to CTV News. "We are pleased that Justice Bach approved the settlement. We believe it is a fair outcome that will provide genuine access to justice for the class." Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The government settled the class action without going to trial and denies liability. Eligible youth will receive an award starting at $9,000, while adult awards start at $3,000. The maximum compensation is $100,000. The federal and provincial governments are offering a lifeline to Manitobans affected by U.S. tariffs and broader economic uncertainty.
Canada's economy is changing. Global markets are shifting, industries are adapting, and workers are being asked to navigate increasing uncertainty.
That's Rebecca Chartrand, Minister responsible for Canadian Northern Economic Development Agency, announcing more than $18 million for the Canada-Manitoba Workforce Tariff Response Program. It's expected to help more than 2,000 workers gain new skills for in-demand jobs, such as through training or employment programs or directly through their employer. You can find all the details, including how to apply, by visiting the provincial government's website. Winnipeggers may soon be able to start getting their trailers and boats ready for the camping season a little earlier than normal. A motion making its way through City Hall would permit one recreational vehicle, travel trailer, or motorhome to be parked on a driveway leading to a home or in a side or rear yard between May 1st and October 31st. Currently, that's only allowed between May 15th and October 31st. The plan would still need a public hearing before moving through full council. The Assiniboine Park Conservancy is celebrating the first anniversary of a beneficial partnership.
We've been working with Wildlife Haven over the past year, and it's really been a great collaboration.
Since the Assiniboine Park Conservancy and Wildlife Haven launched their drop-off center, it's taken in over 315 animals. It allows people to drop off sick or injured and orphaned wildlife at the park to receive temporary care before being transferred to Wildlife Haven in Ile-des-Chênes. Over the last year, the center has received a range of mammals, reptiles, and birds.
We frequently see certain things like baby bunnies, for example, or Canada geese goslings, but we've had some pretty unique ones come through too, like snowy owl, beaver.
29 volunteers are trained to accept the animals at the center, and another 18 help transport them to Wildlife Haven. But both groups say they could benefit from more help. If you find a wild animal in need of care, the first step is to call Wildlife Haven for guidance. The Blue Bombers look to start 2026 on a high note, and we'll have your complete Skywatch forecast when we return. Your first Skywatch pick of the day comes from Lillian, south of Tolstoy, checking out that beautiful or actually, no, that one was from Darren. I think we got the photo wrong there. But out on the water there, absolutely beautiful shot. And our second one of the night is going to come of this very cool bear. That one was sent in from Lisa. Well, taking a look at the map right now, not a lot to show you tonight. Fairly clear skies throughout much of Manitoba. Just over the border in Ontario had some inclement weather a little bit earlier, but has tapered off as we move through the evening. However, much of southern Manitoba, including the city of Winnipeg, all the way just south of Brandon, is going to be under an extreme heat warning from Environment Canada as we move into Saturday, with temperatures getting into the 30s. We'll get to that right away. Taking a look at the futurecast, some cloud coverage in parts of the north and central Manitoba tonight. Up by tomorrow afternoon, the northwest pocket could see a little bit of rain. And as we move, I'm actually going to move to this side for this, because as we move later into Saturday, heavier rain expected in parts of western Manitoba, including that risk of thunderstorms. So something to keep an eye on Saturday night. But here in Winnipeg and the surrounding area, mainly staying clear throughout Saturday. Again, it's going to be quite hot. We'll get to those temperatures in a second. And moving into Sunday, more storm activity moving through Manitoba. Missing Winnipeg, though, so those heading to the Pride Parade, it's going to be hot and humid, but we're likely not to see much rain. And as we move through Sunday, even more activity rolling through Manitoba, so we could see rain, we could see some thunderstorms, and of course always the risk of more severe weather. So keep an eye on out for that as we move through the weekend. Here tonight up in Island Lake, some fog around 10 degrees. 10 in Churchill as well, under slightly cloudier skies. Lots of sunshine tomorrow in Thompson, though windy there. Taking a look in the northwest, 7 tonight in Norway House. Risk of some thunderstorms up in Lynn Lake. Getting up to 23 there tomorrow. 26 in the Paw and Flin Flon. Under somewhat cloudy skies, clear in Brandon and Neepawa tonight. A little more clouds up north of there. 12, 13 degrees throughout the region. Getting up to 31 in Neepawa and Brandon tomorrow. A little cooler north of that. Here in Winnipeg and the surrounding area, clear tonight. Temperatures hovering around 12, 13 degrees. Chance of some fog up in Barons River. Tomorrow, plenty of sunshine throughout the entire region, with temperatures in the 30s, hence that extreme heat warning. And just over the border in northwest Ontario, 12, 13 degrees in Fort Francis tonight under clear skies. Lots of sunshine there, 28 tomorrow. And a check out our 7-day forecast. 31 degrees tomorrow here in Winnipeg, getting up to 33, hot and humid on Sunday, before temperatures level off as we move into the next work week. Well, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers season started with a big spark.
Back into the belly of Brady.
Brady Oliveira blasted through the line and scampered 19 yards for the TD run midway through the first, already looking in mid-season form. Now, down 14-8 later in the half, the Bombers did regain the lead on a QB rush by quarterback Bryce Perkins, but Calgary stormed down the field once again and took a 21-16 lead into the half. We're actually going to see that one, a couple of highlights here. A little off on those, but it's first game of the season, folks. We're just getting started here. But that's Bryce Perkins, his first career CFL touchdown. But here's what we're talking about heading into the half. That's Vernon Adams Jr. finding the receiver with just a couple minutes to go. Scamps taking that lead there as we move into halftime. But things would change a little bit in the second half. But we won't have that. The Bombers ended up taking that one. And the countdown is on for the Burt Block Party. Coming up, the local act joining the lineup. Festivals, fairs, music, and more. Here's a look at some of the events taking place in Manitoba this weekend. Transcona is saying hi neighbor with its annual festival. Pride Winnipeg continues, culminating in a parade and rally Sunday. The Manitoba Summer Fair is on in Brandon. The West End Cultural Centre is hosting its annual Ellis Street Festival. Western Canada's leading electronic music and digital arts festival, MEME, features free shows at Old Market Square. The 13th Prairie Wind Music Festival brings a diverse blend of Manitoba music to Cypress River. The Manitoba Band Association hosts the Community Band Festival in Coronation Park. The Winnipeg Underground Film Festival showcases contemporary experimental film and video. The Manitoba Pet Expo features vendors as well as animal rescue groups and advocacy organizations. You can find a full list of events this weekend on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. And a hometown favorite is being added to the lineup for this summer's Burt Block Party. Rock and roll supergroup Took is joining the August 15th lineup alongside Colin James and Streetheart. The 6th edition of the Block Party returns this year between August 13th and 16th, directly in front of the Burton Cummings Theatre. Previously announced headliners include Killswitch Engage, The Beaches, and Collective Soul, among many others. Tickets are available through Ticketmaster. Still to come, we'll tell you how many beds were built during this blitz. And we'll break down tomorrow's forecast next.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&Teak Spa Salon.
14 degrees in the morning under mostly cloudy skies and slowly climbing throughout the day. It's going to be beautiful. But when you're a charity helping people get beds to sleep on, you need something critical to operate. Beds. And today, Sleep in Heavenly Peace got plenty of help to make some. Today, 60 volunteers from Blue Cross rolled up their sleeves and got to work. Sleep in Heavenly Peace builds beds and donates them to Winnipeg Children in Need. Today, they were building 50 beds for 50 kids, and the charity says there's 3,000 to 4,000 kids who don't have a bed of their own.
These beds that we're building here today are for children that literally do not have a bed to sleep on. So these are children that are sharing a bed with a sibling or with their parents, maybe sleeping on a couch or in some really bad cases, sleeping directly on the floor.
All the beds built today will start being delivered very shortly. In fact, they plan to have all 50 delivered before the end of the month. And I can tell you the Blue Bombers did deliver tonight. We did have some technical difficulties. They won 30-28 on a last-second field goal from Sergio Castillo. Great start to the season, but that's going to do it for us tonight. Have a safe weekend, and we'll see you back here soon. Good night.